I'm Craigo, and join me on my adventures with Craig's cryptocurrency as we cover the blockchain, Web3, NFT, and cryptocurrency technologies. Interviewing the best in the industry, giving tips and tricks, and also sharing with you projects that I'm most excited about. What is going on, guys? Craigo with Craig's Crypto Corner here. I wanted to share a couple different things with you that I want to make you aware of. One are the three primary points that I look for on smart contracts, right? So a smart contract is simply an agreement between two people in the form of computer code. All right, now the next step in that is smart contracts are also programs on the blockchain. They simply run when a predetermined set of conditions are met. And then last, to really simplify things, smart contracts are sent automatically without the use of a third party when predetermined conditions are met. So that third party, without the use of the third party, in part is what makes the blockchain and smart contracts very different from everything else that is currently going on. So let's talk a little bit about OpenSea. I just want to fly into the next thing here. So OpenSea is basically where you can buy and sell non-fungible tokens. A non-fungible token, for those of you that might not know, it's basically a cryptocurrency, but it cannot be fractionalized. What's really cool, and if we go to my computer screen, I want to share with you guys couple things in here to look at. So the project that I'm going to be talking to you about really briefly is a project called OnChainMonkeys. What made this project really unique, and it is on the Ethereum blockchain, so it's an ERC20 token. What made this project really unique was the fact that it was launched on one chain, which saved a tremendous amount of gas fees. What you'll notice, though, is that there are 10,000 of these OnChainMonkeys. However, it only shows 9,500. 500 are in reserve. I believe that the owners or the company themselves holds those. And what you'll notice a couple things across the board is you'll notice how many items, how many owners, what the floor price is, and then what the trading volume is within a particular point in time. Also, the other thing to be aware of is the 1.95, that's 1.95 Ethereum. So what I like to look at when I'm looking at a project that I like, now I've done my due diligence, which we'll go over on Twitter, and we'll talk a little bit about Discord. I happen to be a bigger fan of Twitter. There's a little less mess for me to work through. It's a little less confusing. However, some of the big things, big announcements that you might miss on Twitter will be on Discord. So I always say become familiar with both. So what I like to look at is how thin is a floor. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to scroll down, right? And as I'm scrolling down, I'm looking for how fast does it meet the 2 ETH floor. And what I've noticed is that I went and scrolled down through 6 items that got me to that place. So that'll tell me how thin a floor is. The other thing is that there are other tools out there and other podcasts that we'll go over, and another podcast where I'll talk to you about how you analyze the condensed number of, for instance, in this project, OnChainMonkeys, there are between 2 and 2.5 ETH. But just on a quick scroll, I can see how thin the floor is. If I go down just a little bit more, I like to see how fast can we get to 2.2. And that was achieved within 6 monkeys. Now, if we keep going down, right, we'll see 2.4. So this is good. This tells me that there's a lot of room for growth in this project. At least that's one key indicator for me. What you'll also understand, or what I'd like you to see, is you'll look through and see what are the background filters. When you notice, for instance, let's go on close real quick. I'm just going to scroll down here. All right, so you'll notice that the floor right here, when you have the monkeys with the close, and you just go on this particular number, you'll notice that it starts off a little bit above the 2 ETH floor. So this is really important when you're trying to compare projects. If you look at Fur, here's another one. These are I think a little more rare. I'm going to look to see if I can find something super rare. But let's see, Fur. I'm going to do just number 5. Let's see if, and let's back out number 4. So this is how you play with things to get a better comfort to understand where you're priced. There are also other tools that we'll talk about that will help you to analyze these things much better. Now let's just skip over. So this is a little bit of OnChainMonkeys. This is a really great project. No, I do not want you to FOMO into it. I'd like you to read about it, watch some of the videos, understand some of the meta good that they are doing. So let's hop over into their Twitter page. So a couple things that you'll notice is that they have Twitter Spaces. This has been really great for me. At night, if I'm folding laundry, washing the dishes, I play the record button, or I hop on a live session and I listen to what's going on. So I like to go right to the top of the page. couple things, just like with social media. If you want to know if something's doing well, you look at its engagement. What's its engagement? Likes, comments, shares. Well, that same it comes with Twitter as well, right? You've got the comments, you've got the retweets, and then you also have hearts. How many people are liking the project? So if I want to understand the latest and greatest of my particular project, and I own 2 of these OnChainMonkeys, and I won't confuse you at all, but basically 2 months ago, there was a dessert drop. It was actually on February 1st. And with that dessert drop, what happens is your on-chain monkey will consume this dessert. Now, obviously, they won't really eat it. What will happen is that you will pair them together, and through that, you will be birthed a karma, which is the generation 2. So when you have the Genesis on-chain monkey, you then will also have the karma monkey. What's happening though right now is that you are now can sell that dessert, but then you won't have a karma monkey. So I hold on to my desserts. There's no reason. I always believe that it's diamond minds equal diamond hands. Don't be so fast to get in out of this or play NFTs or cryptos like the stock game. It is not. You can get severely burned by doing that. So just a thought. So the public mint for this on-chain karma monkey will be coming next month. And not only can you land this cheetah, as they're saying in this particular one, but you'll also be able to vote in their DAO. And to simplify it, a DAO is a decentralized autonomous organization where people have voting rights to vote for projects, to vote for charity or good that they do in the world. So it's really exciting that when you get to stake your particular, on-chain monkey or in any other projects, what's really cool is that you can also earn that particular token within that. So I'm really just excited about this project. And last thing that I want to share with you guys is a project that I'm also in, and I'm just talking about it. Not something I would suggest that you get into now, but it's just something to look at, is Metroverse. And so Metroverse has their utility token, and it sits on the Ethereum blockchain. So Metroverse, if you look it up, it's, and here, let's go into really quick. I want to hop into OpenSea, and I want to show you guys. Bear with me. There we go. So this is it's a land real estate project. Now, as you guys know, I'm a realtor, so I love these types of projects. So we have 2 pieces of land. And so what you'll see is that you have a total score right here of 225 or 279. So that's how many tokens when you stake it within their website that you're earning every day. So we've collected a number of tokens since the launch of this project. And I don't suggest you get into a project if you haven't gotten on a whitelist, which a whitelist means that it's pre-mint. If you don't get onto a whitelist, you're not able to, and that's where you're going to get more information from Twitter and Discord, then I would just suggest holding off, waiting until the project drops, and looking at the price fluctuation. It's never good to get into a project, and then if it drops, then you're like, what did I do? And then if it didn't drop and it only goes up, you feel bad as well. So you really have to proceed with your own caution. I like this game because it is a play on Monopoly. And it's really cool with all the different things that they're having coming out with this particular project. Maybe I might be able to get somebody from who is a big landholder. I believe the current owners, they're not doxxed, so they're not out there. And by doxxed meaning their names or their information isn't out there in the public ethos. So there is a little bit of anonymity. That sometimes is a concern for others, and then for others, not so much. But you can look at the different types of buildings. So I love this play on it because it makes me think of my real estate business when I'm running comps on particular properties. So I just wanted to share some of this great information with you. Last thing that I wanted to share with you is how many blockchains are there out there? Well, that's an interesting thing. There are about, as far as I know, about 30 to 35 blockchains that people play with cryptocurrencies and non-fungible tokens. But the other blockchain that people aren't talking about, and it runs, I believe, on a thing called a hash graph. And I'll have more information for you as this develops. Maybe we'll get some corporations to come on and talk about it, is that there are companies that put all of their information on their own private blockchain. So it is the house of information. And a lot of times in this podcast, we'll be talking about the store of value. So just a couple things to think about on that, and just to realize that blockchains aren't going anywhere. Smart contracts are laid onto the blockchain, and it's great when you know how to access those things. And to talk about smart contracts, a small example of a very small contract would be a transfer of Ethereum from one wallet to another. A larger contract would hold greater amounts of data and information, maybe music, video, financial information. So smart contracts can be something as small as a small money transfer, maybe in the form of Ethereum, or it can be something as large as big data. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Looking forward to growing this channel with your support. Any information and feedback that you have for me to make this channel better, we'd love to hear from you.